Ever since Trump's one big beautiful bill came out, one of the consequences of that bill is a lot of people will be removed from the SNAP program, or better known as food stamps. Now, of course, you have mixed feelings about the food stamp program. Some people feel, hey, this is a help, to Americans who really just need some food out here. And then some Americans feel, well, hey, you know what? I get up every day and go to work. You can't be just laying around. It's not right that I have to pay taxes and actually pay for my food. But you get to lay around and get a card every month and view it like a platinum card. But then some of you, you got food stamps, but then you got your hair done, your nails done, you're outside, you're doing all kind of things, right? But you got food stamps. And it's okay to be outside and get your hair and nails done, but you just should not have that card. That's how, a lot of people, feel, especially if they're laid up with a man or something like that. Now, because of the one big beautiful bill, there will be a lot of cuts and people are reacting to this, but I have a different analogy why I feel they really targeting these food stamps. So go ahead and check this out.
See, the real reason why they taking food stamps away is because females always posted up with their nails, their lashes, eyebrows, everything on fleek, right? They seeing it and they like, no, we're putting a stop to it.
Right. So let's get it. Let's get into this. Let me go look at my stuff here. Now, I want to put something up on the screen for y'all. Let me just give me a second and put this up on the screen so y'all can actually see what I am looking at here. All right, boom, on the screen, the one big beautiful bill. The slashes food stamps. One map shows how much red states depend on them. All states depend on them. We'll show you here in a minute. Of course, they're talking about the big beautiful budget will shrink America's largest social safety nets, and so it can have a big impact on red states. Now, they're talking about the spending plan outlines future funding for a slew of federal programs that was signed by the president on Friday after passing both the House and the Senate with overwhelming GOP support. The budget was slashed nearly $200 billion from the federal nutrition aid, like the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, which nearly 42 million Americans rely on to afford food over the next decade. That's a lot of people. Now, they're talking about the policy adjustment requiring non-disabled adults without dependents to fulfill work requirements until they reach the age of 64 to qualify for aid, up from the current cutoff of 54. They said over 2 million Americans could lose SNAP coverage due to this change. So, of course, the Republicans, they defend the legislation, saying it supports Trump's goal of reducing waste in the government spending, all of that. Now, they're talking about undocumented immigrants have long been ineligible for SNAP and other safety programs, and newly naturalized citizens must wait 5 years before they qualify for aid in 2024. Yes, but see, here's the issue. States like California have their own, and then they'll use funding from the SNAP to pay for that, okay? Now, I want to get down here to really the percentage of state enrolled in SNAP. Now, they say 5% of California, which they have the most population. Then you have here, like the biggest states would be like Oregon, you see Nevada, down here where I'm at, Texas, about 15%, Kansas, about 20%. Then, all these prospective states like Louisiana, and then you can go places like Tennessee, all the darkest places. What is this? Connecticut has a lot of people, like a lot of these little white states like Montana. You see how they all on food stamps? Black folks are not even in these areas. Wyoming, black folks not there. You know what I'm saying? Idaho, black folks not there. But you see all the food stamps that these people are getting. Let's look at Utah. We're not really there either. Maybe some of us in Colorado, but not a lot. Some of us in Arizona, but not a lot. Definitely a lot of us not in New Mexico. But as you can see, all these different states, they're getting food stamps. So when these folks try to lie about food stamps and try to put it all on us, that's not true. But let me get to what a lot of this is, because some people just not really reading the room with these Republicans and this food stamp situation. So let's go back to the situation with abortion, okay? And they cut the access to that. They say it went back to the states. Okay. Why did they do that? Now, of course, they're going to say, well, we want to save children, X, Y, Z. No. You want to save one group of children, but you can't just say, I want to put this law just on the white women and let black women and other women just abort their children. No, so you got to do it a blanket thing. So they went after abortion because the white woman was aborting too many of her babies, okay? A lot of white men look at the white woman as she's just too out of control. It's our fault why she's out of control. She has gained too much freedom. She has too many, programs that support her. Well, she don't need us. Because see, a lot of women, a lot of times they put it on black women, but there's a lot of white women that say they don't need white men either. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of white women just can't stand their men. A lot of them can't. A lot of them don't even want to date them. They're chasing the brothers out here, a lot of them. And I see so many young ones. I'm like, I'll be honest with you, I've never seen this many white females after brothers like this in my life. You may have some here and there was with that, but not like today. I've never seen this before. This is something different. They're literally trying to morph themselves into black women. Literally. Why would they do that? You only doing that to attract black men. That's how I view it, because white men don't like that look. They don't like that look whatsoever. So, you got, like, for instance, black women would be Coca-Cola, and the white women trying to emulate them would be Mr. Pibb or some off-brand of Coca-Cola. That's about what it is. But there's some dudes that like off-brand Coke, and then some dudes want the real thing. That's the bottom line. So they're watching a woman chase all these brothers, don't want to have their babies. It's sending them into deep depression. They don't have no get up and go for themselves. They're lonely. They're falling in love with AI chatbots. I've seen a whole story about them doing that, right? I mean, like, come on, like, bro, that is a freaking AI. Use it to assist you and get yourself outside and hit the grass. But hey, that's them. It is what it is. But this is him, the white man, trying to reel back these programs to get his woman back dependent on him. You understand? He know his woman gets way more food stamps than any other group. So if he could get his women off these food stamps and try to get them, put them back in the place. Listen, that's why they're going after colleges and universities, because these white women get these degrees and all of that. And these white women getting jobs. They get, some of these jobs are paid more than them, right? And the white woman don't need them. Say, I don't need them. I don't want to have their kids. I don't want to do nothing. I'm good. And so all this reeling back certain things is to put their women back in their proper place where they want them. And so they feel like they put them back in the house so they can have their children so they won't die out. This administration is going to be hell on women. Bottom line. It's going to be hell on women in this country. I promise you with Trump. Because they got to get, but it's not black women they focusing on, Hispanic or whatever. They focusing on the white woman because they know if she don't need them, if she won't have their kids, she won't do nothing. They got to put her in a position where she's desperate, where she got to go back with their men and go have kids. Because the white woman don't want to have no kids either. They're like, I'm cool. I don't need no kids. Or if they're having kids, they having kids with brothers. They'll go have 3 or 4 kids with brothers, but they're not having 3 or 4 kids with their own. And a lot of them women that's out there chasing the brothers, they got their own jobs, they got their own car. They don't need nothing from their white men. That's a problem. So they're trying to cut. Listen, I heard a white guy the other day said that we need to repeal the 19th Amendment because these women have gotten too much. And I say, whoa, the 19th Amendment? He wants women to not have the right to vote. That's what, because the 19th Amendment gave women the right to vote. So basically what he was saying is, I don't want women voting. He want to go back to the time period where women couldn't have a bank account, women couldn't buy a home, women couldn't do nothing in this country. That's really what this man was saying in this video. And he was white. He want women not to have the right to vote anymore. And if he said that, there's other ones saying the same thing too. You feel me? All these cuts you seen and all these different things, like even when it comes to DEI DEI, we all know the research. DEI gave white women 6-figure incomes. They didn't need no white man. They like, I'm cool. I don't need nobody. So they went after DEI. But see, they gonna use black people because they know that we can rally our people against black people. But as we know, black people was at the bottom of DEI when it came to those positions. White women was the top at DEI. So they went after DEI. Okay, boom. A lot of white women lost their job. They went after these federal jobs. You hear a lot of white women crying about their jobs. Some black women too. But more white women work for the federal government than black women, okay? They went after the abortions, right? Now they're going after the food stamps and the Medicaid too. A lot of people gonna be cut off of that. They not done. The college stuff, they keep attacking the colleges. They're gonna keep doing that and trying to take money from the colleges because women go there, get educated and get these jobs or whatever. They are slowly trying to attack everything that women benefit from. So the SNAP thing is just one more little piece of what they're doing to try to literally strip women of the ability to take care of themselves outside of a man. But once again, it has nothing to do with black women, Hispanic, Asian, whatever else. It's more so directed at the white woman. Now, there may be men of other races that agree with some of that too, because some of them say, well, some of them have got a little too out of pocket, but not like the white woman has with her man. Because, the white man wants his woman just to be there. He don't want her doing nothing. He don't want her to have her own money. He don't want, you know what I'm saying? He don't want any of that. We've never been that way as black men. We never said a black woman can't work, a black woman can't have a business, a black woman can't have a career, a black woman can't do. We've never been like that as black men. Never. As a matter of fact, white women have said this many times about black men. Oh, black men aren't like white men. They aren't trying to stop me and being oppressive and this and that and the third. They've said that many times on camera. But all these things I'm mentioning, DEI, the abortion deal, which I don't agree with abortion, but I'm telling you the motivation behind it was to stop the white woman from aborting their children. The SNAP program, attacking colleges, all the things they're doing is to get that white woman back in a place that they want. And then the white man say they need to repeal the 19th Amendment, so don't give them the right to vote. At one point in time, white women couldn't own property either. They couldn't buy homes and all of that. They had to have a husband. See, in white supremacy, the male has to be oppressive and dominant. He don't know how to share any kind of power, and he definitely don't know how to deal with his woman saying, I don't want to be with you. I am not marrying you. Ugh, you lame. And they're on camera literally saying that to their face, that they lame, and they say, well, I seen this one white girl like, yeah, I don't really fool white guys. And they was like, why? The guy's like, why? They say, they lame. So the only time they're not lame unless they hang around black men, then they're cool. You say, but if they don't hang around black men, no, I'm good. I'm like, and them dudes lose it. They'll go out there and air out a place. Let me say it that way. Trying to say it. Well, I won't get in trouble here. They go air out a place behind stuff like that. Remember Elliot Rodger? You remember Elliot Rodger? They went shot up to college. Elliot Rodger put in his manifesto that he was mad that the white girls, the pretty white girls, were with black men. That's what Elliot Rodger wrote down. They're tired of seeing the pretty white girls with black men. And these white girls are choosing on the brothers. It's not like the brothers go and chase them. They choosing. Heavy. Brothers be minding their own business and they pull up on them. On some Fleece Johnson. I like you and I want you. That sort of thing. So this food stamp thing, y'all, yeah. That's they going hardcore. They women, but they got to do it all across the board. But yeah, that's what that's about. But let me tell black people something. We made it just fine without no food stamps. And we always ate. Let me tell you something. God will provide for you. You don't have to sit here and eat and have no food stamp. God will provide. I will tell you from experience, I've never had a food stamp except one time we had a hurricane and the state allowed everybody to get food stamps because of the hurricane. I mean, man, it felt good for about a month to have food stamps. I ain't gonna lie. But hey, I pay taxes. I pay a lot of them. So if I can have food stamps for a month, I don't feel bad. I pay into the system, right? But the one time I had it, but outside of that, man, we've always eaten. None of my children have went to bed hungry with our clothes on their back. My wife, everybody got some food, clothes, and we good. God will provide. And I would tell black people that, okay, if you lose your food stamps tomorrow, God will provide. He gonna give you something better, because sometimes it's better to have certain things taken away from you so God can give you more. Because sometimes those things like food stamps and Section 8 and all that mess is a crippling. When you get put in a situation, sometimes you got to scramble. Sometimes that's when you do the better things. It's kind of like when you fire from a job. Sometimes you would never fired from that job, you'd never left. But you got fired and you got the next job. Next job was better. You made more money, better people, etc. But you'd never look for another job until you got fired. So if you lose your food stamps or it get reduced, well, hey, just say, you know what, God, you're going to provide, and it's going to be new opportunities to come your way. That's how I look at it. But a lot of these folks in these rural areas, they're going to suffer with this, because a lot of them are generational food stamp recipients. Oh, yes. They always try to put it on black people, but no, it's them. And you're going to see many videos of them crying and saying they suffering because they got cut off. You better believe that. So my people, we'll be all right. We're going to be all right. Trump can cut whatever he want. We fine. We survive. We always have, and we always will.